Hello, grade 2, with you, Miss Dina, your science teacher. Today, we're gonna continue chapter 11, lesson 3. What is heat? What is heat? Heat, as we said before, is form of energy or kind of energy that make things warmer. Make things warmer. So, many things give off heat. Heat is something very hot. All heat is energy. So, heat is form of energy that makes things warmer. Can you feel the heat that comes from the sun? Yes, sure, you can feel the heat that comes from the sun. Okay, now I want all of you try to rub your hands like in this picture and tell me what you feel. Yes, excellent, you can feel heat. So, when you're rubbing your hand against each other, this produces heat. If anything is rubbing against each other, this produces heat, and this is called friction force. Friction force. So what's the meaning of friction force? Friction is force that slows down objects that rub against each other. Is a force that slows down objects that rubs against each other. When you look at here at the slide, there is a friction force between your body and the slide. So here there is a friction force between your body and the slide. This prevents you from falling down. If you look at this picture, which one of them will go fast? A or B? Yes, very good, A, because there is a friction force here, slow his movement. Here in B, there is a friction force between the boy and the floor. This friction force here slow down his movement. So friction force is a force that slow down objects that rub against each other. We can produce heat in many ways, such as burning of oil or natural gases, or burning some woods. You know that the heat moves from warmer things to cooler objects. If you look at this picture here, you can see the heat moves from the fire to the pot and moves again from pot to the spoon. So, if you try to touch the pot, you can feel the heat because it's too hot. Another picture or another example here. If you hold a hot cup of tea, so the heat will move from cup of tea to your hand. Why? Because the heat can move from warmer object such as cup of tea to cooler object like your hand. As we studied before, what is the temperature? Yes, very good. Temperature is the measure of how hot or cold something is. Temperature is the measuring of how hot or cold something is. Which tool can measure the temperature? Yes, super, thermometer. So, thermometer is the tool that measures an object temperature. Thermometer is a tool that measures an object temperature. Can you see the degree in each thermometer? Some thermometers have F degrees, like this, or Fahrenheit degree. and some thermometers have C degrees. This is called Celsius degree. And some thermometers have both C and F. This means Celsius and Fahrenheit. So, thermometer is a tool that measures an object temperature. What does the temperature means? Yes, the measuring of how hot or cold something is.
Zoom! Did you notice that? I learned it from my friend. You wanna try? Okay, get ready. Let's do it again. Zoom! It is real fun, right?
Hi, Timmy. What's up?
Oh, I was teaching my friend how to slide on the floor.
Cool. But now put on your shoes. Let's go outside and play.
Okay, wait. Ta-da! I am ready. But hold on. I want to show you something.
Now what's that?
Oh, I learned to slide. Let me show you how to do that.
Is that a game?
It's not a game, but I love it. Now look here. Here I go. Oh, I don't know what's happening.
This is not sliding. You are about to fall.
Ask all my friends. I was sliding so well. Guys, please tell her that I can slide.
Oh, I trust you. I know you can slide. But what just happened?
I don't know. I was sliding so well before I put on my shoes. Let me try again.
Is something wrong with your shoes?
I don't know. These are my new shoes. Let me take these off and try again. Here I go. Yippee! I wonder what happened. I can slide in my socks, but when I put my shoes on, I can't seem to slide.
So there is something at the bottom of your shoes that don't let you slide smoothly. Let's do some inquiry.
Yeah, let's look at the bottom of my shoe.
Can you tell me the difference between your socks and the bottom of your shoes?
At the bottom, it's not smooth like my socks.
Yeah, it's rough and it is made of rubber.
So rough surface of the bottom stops me from sliding.
When the rough bottom of the rubber rubs against the floor, it causes friction. This friction stops you from sliding.
Ah, but what is friction?
Let's look at it. Friction is a force between two surfaces that are sliding or trying to slide across each other. For example, when you try to push a book along this table, friction makes this difficult.
So friction works against the direction of the movement?
You are right. Let's look at it. Friction always works in the direction opposite from the direction the object is moving or trying to move. Friction always slows a moving object down or it stops it.
So you said friction is a force between two surfaces that are sliding across each other.
That's right.
So when I slide on floor, there is friction between my foot and the floor.
Again you are right.
But I have a question.
Sure. Go ahead, smart boy.
Why can I slide so easily with my socks but can't slide when I put my shoes on?
Very intelligent question. Can you guess the answer?
I think there is no friction when I slide with socks, but there is friction when I slide with my shoes on. The friction between the shoe and the floor does not let me slide properly.
You are partly correct. Let's look at this.
Ball on smooth surface is moving faster and the ball on rough surface is moving slower.
Correct. The amount of friction depends on the material from which the two surfaces are made. The rougher the surface, the greater the friction. And the greater the friction, the slower the ball.
Oh, now I know. The bottom of my shoe.
Heat energy. Everyone probably knows something about heat. We often use the word to describe something that feels hot when we touch it, or to describe a hot day. To fully understand what heat is, we first have to understand something about energy. Energy has to do with the movement of the particles that make up matter. If we were to look up close at the particles of something very cold, we would see them moving very slowly. If their movement is very slow, they have less energy than the particles that make up something that is hot. For example, particles of hot water in a pot would vibrate very quickly, so they would contain lots of energy. Heat is actually a form of energy that is being transferred from a substance at a higher temperature to another substance or substances at a lower temperature. Have you ever touched a hot pot that was on a stove? What happens when you touch it? It burns your hand because the heat energy is transferring from the hot pot to your hand. Your hand had a different temperature than the hot pot. Your hand was much cooler than the hot pot. Heat energy always travels from a hotter substance to the colder substance. In this case, it travels from the pot to your hand. Think about what happens to a mug of coffee when you pour hot coffee into it. The mug felt cool at first, but then felt hotter as you poured the hot coffee into it. The hot coffee transferred its heat energy to the mug, which was cooler. Heat is not the same as temperature. Have you ever used a thermometer to measure something's temperature? Temperature is a measure of the energy that matter contains, or how hot or cold it is. So, when you use a thermometer, you are measuring how fast or slow the particles in matter are moving. The faster the movement of the particles in an object, the higher the temperature of the object will be.